It's been 1,932 days since the final NITCS race, but alas, stop motion racing has made its return to NRF Productions as Digital Gashouse presents the 2024 Gateway Invitational. We're here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois, a unique racetrack in terms of its configuration. Turns 1 and 2 has banking similar to New Hampshire. Meanwhile, turns 3 and 4 have less banking like what you see at the championship venue in Phoenix Raceway. Coming together nicely as a 1.2-mile oval that's egg-shaped like Darlington Raceway. This is a truly unique racetrack, and the St. Louis market is one of the most unique in all of America. Right now, the St. Louis Cardinals are playing across the river. The Battlehawks are in the UFL Championship, yet the St. Louis market has packed the Worldwide Technology Raceway grandstands. A sold-out crowd as St. Louisans are ready to see the inaugural stop-motion race here in the greater St. Louis area, and we have 38 drivers and 38 stories to cover in this running. Chase Elliott has won some of the most chaotic races in stop-motion history. New Hampshire 2018 Logano and Truex Spin, Chase Elliott wins, finally getting that elusive first NITCS victory. And then Pocono battling with Denny Hamlin. He roughs him up. Hamlin hits the wall, slams into Byron. Denny Hamlin was none too pleased with the move, but Chase Elliott was the one that came home with the trophy, winning in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Then you have a driver that has shown great pace in stop-motion racing, Martin Truex Jr. Pocono was a bit rough, crashing out of the race, but Martin Truex Jr. has won many NITCS races, and he'll be looking to do so with his new team, Joe Gibbs Racing. Then you have Ryan Blaney, not only the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion, but the 2018 NITCS champion, as he did it in thrilling fashion with Kevin Harvick and Clint Bowyer crashing on the final lap. As the engines have fired, 38 drivers are going to be looking to protect their engines today. Worldwide Technology Raceway is the only oval on the NASCAR schedule where you shift twice per lap. It is going to be important for these drivers to not over-rev the engine, as we've seen troubles here in the past. That's something they're going to want to avoid if they want to capture the checkered flag. Something else to keep an eye on is the fuel window, as it is 15 laps, meaning that every driver is going to have to make at least one stop, whether it is under green or under caution. Timing of this stop is going to be everything to get the track position, as described by Alex Bowman before the race.
This place is going to be all about track position, so I think you'll see a lot of two tires. Hard to say if we'll see green flag stops or not, so try to get track position advantage wherever we can.
Leading the field to green is Jeff Gordon, and he is in his iconic Fire and Flames number 24. This car has a significance in NITCS history. Jeff Gordon won the 2005 Southern 500 as well as the championship in one of the most elite seasons in NASCAR Irwin Tools Cup Series history. But perhaps most important is that Jeff Gordon was name-dropped by St. Louisan Nelly in the song EI. To commemorate the 24 in 24, Jeff Gordon leads the field as the honorary starter. And now it's time to meet the 38 drivers that will be competing in the 2024 Gateway Invitational. Row 1 features the fastest two cars in the greater St. Louis area, Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Larson adorning Hendrick colors. Row number 2, you have Kyle Busch, one of the greatest in NITCS history, alongside Chris Buescher. Row number 3, we've got Ross off the wall, off the chain, Chastain, and Joey Logano, who has a strong resume in the NITCS. Then we have two drivers looking to emerge from the shadow of their teammates, Alex Bowman and Daniel Suarez. Row number 5 features NITCS champion Ryan Blaney alongside William Byron, who's finding his stride with Hendrick. Then you have Brad Keselowski, the NITCS champion, driving for his own equipment now, alongside Denny Hamlin, who called out Chase Elliott on actions detrimental last week. He is going to be from the 13th starting spot alongside Christopher Bell for Joe Gibbs Racing. Then we have one of the newer teams in stop motion racing, 2311, with Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace. Two JGR alumni make up row number 9 with Ryan Preece and Ty Gibbs. Row number 10 sees some fast dark horse Mustangs that are true dark horses in this race, Chase Briscoe and Michael McDowell. Row number 11 is Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., as judging by his sponsor for this race, he should have a clean day. Row number 11 features Corey LaJoie, who's hoping to stack pennies towards a better ride, alongside Josh Berry succeeding Kevin Harvick in the number 4. Row number 13 is a couple newbies, Todd Gilliland and John Hunter Nemechek. Then in row 14 is Zane Smith for Spire Motorsports and Austin Dillon for RCR, one of the most underrated drivers in NITCS history. Then in row 15, we have two drivers looking for some great runs, Noah Gragson in the 10 and Harrison Burton in the 21. Austin Cindric is in the number 2 that was made famous by local hero Rusty Wallace alongside 2017 NITCS champion Jimmy Johnson in a one-off start. AJ Allmendinger and Carson Hocevar make up row 17. Then you have Daniel Hemrick, who's hoping to do a backflip in victory lane like Missouri's Carl Edwards, alongside Justin Haley. And rounding out the field are two drivers that had issues this weekend, Shane Van Gisbergen and Kaz Gralla. Shane Van Gisbergen, still getting used to oval racing, just got a little bit too high and had to go to a backup car after a crash in qualifying. Meanwhile, Kaz Gralla had an incident in practice, and that meant that he didn't get much track time, which is going to be a problem for him in this race. All 38 cars are checking their pit road speed, as that's going to be another thing about this race. You do not want to get caught speeding, especially during a green flag run. The cars are going double file on the backstretch. The pyrotechnics are going off and the fans are on their feet, anticipating the green flag to welcome back stop motion racing to NRF Productions. What an incredible restart by Ross Chastain, who went from 5th to 2nd in the first lap. He battles alongside Alex Bowman as the Crackermobile, Martin Truex Jr. clears everyone to take the lead. Something about Worldwide Technology Raceway is that it is a multi-groove racetrack. You should expect by the end of the race to see 2 lanes to where you can make passes, whether it's on the inside or the outside. As you can see here, the drivers are trying to navigate the tight turns like New Hampshire. It's a tricky spot in this racetrack, but Daniel Suarez, Keselowski, and Joey Logano don't care. They're 3 wide trying to get the track position, something that is going to be critical to winning this race, especially with this next generation car. It's already lap 4, and Ross Chastain is trying to hunt down Martin Truex Jr. We've seen with the Moose colors that Ross Chastain has had some memorable moments. He's looking for yet another one as he dives to the inside. Martin Truex Jr.'s up the racetrack. They're side by side entering lap 5 of the race. Nobody's giving an inch because of the clean air, but Ross Chastain prevails, and now Alex Bowman battles Martin Truex Jr. for 2nd. But with this racetrack and having 2 grooves, Martin Truex Jr. is able to sail on that outside, and he's going to try to chase back down Ross Meanwhile, outside the top 20, Josh Berry and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. are jockeying for position. Josh Berry is one of the biggest movers of the race so far alongside Chris Buescher. However, nobody has topped Ross Chastain in his phenomenal restart going 3 wide, as Ross Chastain is going to come around and lead lap 7, but Martin Truex Jr. wants the lead back. He takes his Cracker Mobile and slides up the racetrack. Ross Chastain is coming back. They're side by side on the backstretch. Some phenomenal racing here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. We're going to see if Chastain can clear him. I think he's got him now, as Ross Chastain comes around and leads lap 8. A full flyby of the field, and I want to direct your attention to a nice battle between the 6 of Brad Keselowski and the 9 of Chase Elliott. They are going at it side by side, and now Tyler Reddick wants to be a part of this threesome. Reddick sails by Chase Elliott and Brad Keselowski, and now Bubba Wallace. The 2311 cars are making moves here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, hoping to make it to the front. Bubba Wallace and Keselowski still side by side, and behind them is William Byron in the 14th position. Honestly, I'm a bit shocked by William Byron. I thought he was going to be more of a factor alongside Christopher Bell all the way back in the 18th position. As William Byron clears Chase Elliott, you can see on the replay of the race, William Byron gets up the racetrack, and that explains perfectly why he is one of the biggest losers early in this race. But there's still a lot of time left as Ross Chastain starts to slice his way through lap traffic. We're starting to get into that fuel window. We're about 5 laps away. However, I believe that we're going to see some teams come early, especially if you're Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, or Kyle Larson. So far, this has been a tame race with no cautions, and with how good Ross Chastain has been, it might be a good strategy ploy to try to hit pit road first. As Ross Chastain uses the outside to lap AJ Allmendinger, we are officially 11 laps into the 2024 Gateway Invitational, as here they come. Kyle Larson is the first taker, as he is a driver that has been extremely demotivated in this race. He feels like he lost his chance to gain track position early in the race, but Cliff Daniels has told him to stay motivated. They will take 4 tires and fuel and hope to leapfrog the 1 and the 19. Chris Buescher is also on pit road for 4 tires, as well as Joey Logano and Martin Truex Jr. For Joey Logano, it's going to be a 4-tire stop, as Paul Wolfe doesn't really want to do anything too special so far. As for Martin Truex Jr., it's the same. They have a really good Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry, and they're looking to keep it that way as, oh, crash! Michael McDowell has just slammed into the turn 1 wall. Unbelievable turn of events here in the 2024 Gateway Invitational, right in the middle of green flag stops. Let's look at the replay as, oh, it looks like Michael McDowell had a brake rotor issue. This is something common with tracks like Worldwide Technology Raceway, where you're on the brakes a lot, and Michael McDowell hits the wall, but he did it in an efficient way as he coasted alongside the wall, and that minimized his impact. But unfortunately, outside of that, there's not going to be a lot to love for Michael McDowell here in St. Louis. Michael McDowell's crash looks similar to a wreck that Ross Chastain had at Pocono, except you can see Ross Chastain doesn't drift against the wall, and he goes into the grass and a hard impact into the turn 1 wall. Ross Chastain said he was shaken up after this crash, and it shows the difference between McDowell's impact today and the nasty hit that Ross Chastain had. Either way, this might be another example of race teams being aggressive on their setups, and we're going to see if maybe there's more brake rotors later in this race. However, the leaders are on pit road as Ross Chastain has dominated this race so far. Phil Surgeon has said no adjustments. We're going to take 4 tires and make sure that we have a fast car to win this race. Other drivers like Daniel Suarez and Kyle Busch, they're taking 4 tires. You know what? I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we're not seeing more strategy within the field as Ryan Blaney picks up some spots on pit road with a 4-tire stop. That is going to set up for an interesting choose and restart coming up. As track services are still cleaning the racetrack, this is the perfect time to touch on Kyle Larson, a Brickyard 400 winner, as well as two-time Auto Club winner in the NITCS. This is a driver that has a lot of talent, and now he is driving for arguably the most dominant team in the series, Hendrick Motorsports, and with crew chief Cliff Daniels. They're going to be a combination to watch out for, as now we hit the choose. Martin Truex Jr. hits the outside. Ross Chastain in 5th place is now going to have 4 cars to try and pass to get back to the lead. It is going to be interesting to see what does Ross Chastain do on this restart with the 4 fresh tires. The green flag is back out, and Chris Buescher takes them 3 wide. Battling with Joey Logano. Buescher's not going to quite clear Joey Logano, but a great move by Buescher. Meanwhile, Martin Truex Jr. takes the lead, and Ross Chastain is stuck back in traffic. It's going to be interesting. How is Ross Chastain's car going to handle in these new situations? Oh, he turned him! He turned Kyle Busch! Reddick is completely demolished, and the dominant car of the day has just made some serious enemies in St. Louis. Let's look at the replay. My goodness, I was wondering what Ross Chastain's car was going to do in the mid-pack, and he just gets a little loose and gets into Kyle Busch. This is something that a lot of drivers have called him out for, and I find it kind of interesting that the Moose Fraternity slogan is to do some good thing for someone each day. Well, based on this incident, he has not done something good for Kyle Busch or himself. Chastain, he just gets it in too deep, and Tyler Reddick has nowhere to go. Also, shout out to Chase Elliott for seeing the crash and going down pit road to avoid. Tyler Reddick's day is done, and meanwhile, Kyle Busch retaliates back on Ross Chastain. He is not too happy, and for good reason, as Kyle Busch has had a rough stretch in terms of stop-motion races. At Pocono, he was leading on the final lap before he ran out of fuel, and that was a tough pill for him to swallow. And now today, running inside the top 5, Ross Chastain gets into him, ends his day. That is not something they needed. Meanwhile, Ross Chastain is on repairs. However, he has went 2 laps down. His chances of winning are over. So as we get to the choose, Truex to the outside, Buescher to the inside, and he'll have Ford teammate Joey Logano to help push him on the restart. And I'm telling you, based on Alex Bowman's quote earlier in the day, things are about to get interesting.
History says at the end of the race, we're probably all just going to start crashing each other. So hopefully we stay out of that mess, because the end of last year was absolutely wild.
So the fans are on their feet, and the green flag is back in the air as they're side by side. Larson takes it 3 wide, and Chris Buescher with a great restart. He's going to clear Martin Truex Jr. MTJ, though, gets a great run off of turn 2 and takes the lead. They're down the back stretch. The fans are absolutely going nuts. We are in for a battle of the ages. Chris Buescher is alongside Martin Truex Jr. The white flag waves, and they're side by side. What more could you ask for? 2 drivers using 2 distinct racing lines. They're side by side going down the backstretch. Martin Truex Jr. has the edge, but Chris Buescher gets the momentum into turn 3. Truex, with one last-ditch effort, goes up the racetrack, and Chris Buescher is going to win the 2024 Gateway Invitational.
Hell yeah, guys! Hell yeah! Oh my God, I can't believe that! Holy crap! Great job! Great job!
What a win by Chris Buescher, and it shows the strength of RFK, especially on this restart. Chris Buescher clears Martin Truex Jr., but that wasn't it. Truex battles back, clears him, but Chris Buescher was not giving up. Side by side, you can see 2 distinct racing lines, just some damn good racing. Martin Truex Jr. looked to have him clear, but Chris Buescher did a great job sailing it into turn 3. Truex just gets up into it. He still finishes second, but you know what? We're not going to remember second place, because we're going to remember Chris Buescher winning, and he's going to do his burnout in front of the sellout crowd here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Chris Buescher is celebrating along the front stretch with Brad Keselowski, the Season 2 champion that believed in Buescher's potential when he was a mid-pack guy for several years at JTG Doherty Racing. What a huge win for Chris Buescher as he takes the checkered flag. Meanwhile, great run for Daniel Suarez, trying to get some momentum going in this season. Hendrick Motorsports puts all 4 of their cars in the top 10 despite not leading a single lap in this race. Meanwhile, I'm shocked Joe Gibbs Racing didn't have a lot of the speed, especially with Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin. I figured they'd be more of a factor in this race. They come home disappointed with some mid-pack finishes. As for the second page, shout out to Carson Hocevar, a great 24th place finish for that Spire number 77. Also, how about Shane Van Gisbergen in a backup car getting a top 25? Meanwhile, some other disappointments like Jimmy Johnson, the 2017 champion, having a less than stellar day. Austin Cindric in the Rusty Wallace number 2 with a subpar showing. And then, of course, Reddick, Kyle Busch DNFing. But the biggest is Ross Chastain finishing 2 laps after he dominated a majority of this race. So the 2024 Gateway Invitational was a spectacle to behold. There was everything that NASCAR fans wanted, like 3-wide racing, fantastic restarts. You had storylines in this race, and you had a rivalry between Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain that might heat into something a bit later. But in the end, it was Chris Buescher and the strength of RFK winning the 2024 Gateway Invitational. So I hope you guys enjoyed this stop motion event, and shout out to Gavin Beers for filming this race. He did a phenomenal job. Go subscribe to his channel. He's almost to 1,000 subs. And other than that, this is Nathan for Digital Gas House. Life's a beach and then you drive.